Hello everyone. I'm here today to tell you a story. This story will be told as if it were being broadcast on an old-time radio station. We used to listen to the old favorite shows and programs on the radio. We enjoyed listening to the radio to hear our favorite shows and entertainers, remember? We never saw the actors, just the words and the sound effects. It was up to our imagination to see the story unfold in our mind's eye. We will also recreate some of the radio ads and show lead-ins from that era. This story is fiction, but in your mind it could be real. Sit back, relax, pretend you're sitting in your living room listening to your radio. The story is in your mind. Enjoy yourself and pay attention.
As in all radio plays, the announcer is the most important member of the cast. The announcer tells the audience what is happening, and in our case, will also use sound effects that are taking place. For example, he may say, "Door opening and closing." This means that somebody is coming in or going out. The dialogue will tell you the rest. The producer may insert noises and sound effects, such as a bugle blowing, as in the case in our story. So pay attention to the announcer and the producer and enjoy listening and seeing our radio play. Thank you.
Welcome to the Woodland Terrace radio station.
Welcome to WTMK Radio and our story for today. Our story takes place in a small town of Somerville in Kansas. The date is November 10, 1941. Our story opens with Frank Ellison, the owner and operator of the Mid-Street Pharmacy. Frank is deep in thought and getting ready to close for the night. Sound effect of door opening and closing. Roberta Anderson comes into the pharmacy and approaches Frank.
Hello, Roberta. What brings you into our fine establishment on this cold and dark day? Would you like a soda?
No thanks, Mr. Ellison. I have something on my mind, and I think you may be the one to help me. My mother knows what I'm going to do.
Fire away, Roberta. I think I know what it is. But let's sit down at the soda bar while we talk. By the way, how's school going? Have you decided on a school and a major yet?
Not yet. I'm applying to state. I'm leaning toward becoming a nurse, but with the way the world is going, I may have to go all the way and become a doctor. We're going to need a lot of medical people if we're going to go to war. It looks more like that every day.
That's certainly the way it looks. And it's extra scary to those of us who've been there before.
No, the reason I'm here is to ask you to come to the house and talk to Dad into going to his medal ceremony tomorrow as part of the Armistice Day celebration. You know, Dad is supposed to receive a medal during the ceremony. I'm not sure about what medal, but it's going to be presented by a guy named Colonel Dwight Eisenhower. He used to live a couple of towns down the way, and I guess he's a big shot now. Dad doesn't want to go, and Mom asked me to have you help us. Will you, please?
I know all about medals, Roberta. It goes back to the big war, and it's very important. I will be proud to convince your dad to show up. I know I'll be there. I'll be as proud as he is just to be standing by. His medal is going to be the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's being upgraded from his Distinguished Service Cross that he got almost 20 years ago. I think that was the year you were born, and it took a long time to get here. It's a big deal then, and it's a bigger deal now.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Ellison. Can we go now?
You bet. I'm always glad to see your mother.
Sound effect of two people walking down the street in the snow. Sound effect of door opening and closing.
I brought him along, Mom. Here's Frank.
Well, hello, Frank. It's good of you to come. I knew you would. John has never been this stubborn before, and I'm not sure why. If anyone can talk him into showing up for the military ceremony, it's you. Old Master Sergeant, will you give it a try? He's out walking the dog, but he'll be back in a few minutes.
You know I'd do anything for you, Mary.
Would you like a glass of wine or a cup of coffee?
No thanks on the coffee, Mary, but a glass of wine will work just fine.
I'll go get it. I think I'll join you. Remember, we used to have a glass of wine about this time every night when you were still in the hospital.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I do. In more ways than one.
Sound effect of door opening and closing. A dog barks.
Oh, here he comes now.
Hello, Frank. Are you delivering a prescription or getting ready to run off with Mary?
You know why I'm here, John. Let's go into the kitchen.
Oh, John, I told you that I'd sick Frank on you if you acted up.
Yeah. I can't get away from these two women.
Sound effect. Steps walking away. As John and Frank head into the kitchen, let's pause for a moment to these important announcements.
Viva USA in your Chevrolet. America is asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all. On a highway or a road along a levee. Performance is sweeter, nothing can beat her. Life is complete.
Please buy these products whenever you can. And tonight, for your listening pleasure, please hear this exciting radio show. And now back to our show. John and Frank are now in the kitchen. The door is closed, and the men are sitting at the kitchen table.
You know you have to show up, John. This is the most important event since we got back from the war. You deserve this medal more than anyone I know, and I'll be there with you.
You know you did more to save those men than I did, and I'm just lucky to be shot 4 times and live to tell about it. It isn't fair, Frank, and I, for one, would like everyone to know about you.
I'll never forget the 2 of us in the hospital. We harassed the nurses and badgered the doctors. They were glad to see me leave after 2 months, and when you left 3 months later, they had a party. You know I almost got Mary to say yes, but that damn War Department kicked me out after 2 months. I have to congratulate you. You won her fair and square, and with only 1 leg.
You know, I'm sure she still loves you. You can see how she reacts when you come into the room. Okay, I'll come, but only if you wear your uniform. You still have it, don't you? I've never seen you in First Sergeant stripes. I'll bet you look great. Is it okay if I hug a First Sergeant?
Okay, but don't let this get around.
John and Frank hug briefly, but warmly.
And wear your medals.
Before we go on, in this radio station, we always sing a song appropriate to the situation. In this case, let us sing one of the familiar songs from back in World War I. And you can find the words on the sheet that you were given. Applause, ladies, if you will. Start us on It's a Long Way to Tipperary.
It's a long way to Tipperary. It's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girl I know. Farewell, Piccadilly, so long to the square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, but my heart is there.
Very good, audience. Now we come to the Armistice Day celebration in Somerville, Kansas. The day is warm and sunny for November. John, Mary, and Roberta are sitting on the chairs on the platform erected for the ceremony. John is very dashing in his uniform, with his artificial leg, his sergeant's stripes, a Distinguished Service Cross hanging around his neck, and wearing his campaign hat. John has been watching nervously, waiting for Frank to appear. Frank appears from the right and approaches the stage. Frank is wearing his first sergeant's stripes and numerous campaign and service medals, including the Silver Star. He looks like a recruiting poster.
John, Mary, Roberta, you look spectacular up there. Mary, you look especially beautiful today. And I hope the photographers can capture it in the right light.
Well, thank you, Frank. You make me blush, but happy.
Yes, I mean, First Sergeant Ellison, you are just spectacular.
You look great, Frank. It almost makes me want to salute you or something. The mayor will be here in a minute. She wants you to sit on the stage with us.
I'm not sure that's right. But if the mayor, you think it's okay, I guess I'll do it.
Thanks, Frank. Sit on my right, if you will. The mayor will sit next to you. Colonel Eisenhower will sit next to the mayor.
John, you seem to be running this ceremony. And you seem to know more about it than yesterday when you were the reluctant bride.
Wait a bit, Frank. The mayor is in charge and she tells me what to do. Speaking of which, here she comes now.
Hello, Virginia. I mean, Mrs. Mayor. You look very sharp today.
Hello, John, Mary, Roberta. You all look very regal today. Most appropriate. Frank, I've never seen you in your full uniform before. I'm truly impressed. It looks like we have a full house today. I'm glad. I thought that maybe the townspeople might be starting to forget the significance of this day, and that would disappoint me.
I guess you know what's going on, Mrs. Mayor. This is going to be the first CMO for our own town.
I just learned that. That means Congressional Medal of Honor. Here comes Colonel Eisenhower now. I'll meet him at the podium, and he'll take over from there. Welcome, Colonel Eisenhower. We're ready for you. If you'll stand by the podium, we'll play To the Colors, and then you can start the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to honor our flag and our country with the playing of To the Colors.
The bugle call To the Colors is played when there is no band available to play the national anthem. It commands the same respect as the national anthem, and soldiers salute and civilians place their hand over their heart. Now
Yes,
then, To the Colors.
Wow.
Order arms.
Colonel Eisenhower, First Sergeant Allison, Sergeant Young, Mary, and Roberta, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. As you know, we are in a time of worldwide peril. Germany and Japan are spoiling for a fight. Our peace is as fragile as it has ever been. We would be wise to prepare for another war, with massive casualties and great destruction. It is fitting that we pause now and remember the courage and sacrifice of our last great war. To present the Congressional Medal of Honor to one of our own heroes, I present Colonel Dwight Eisenhower, who, like others on stage, were in the last great war.
Applause. Applause, girl, wave her banner.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. Mayor, First Sergeant Allison, and Sergeant Young. Sometimes the Department of Army moves with snail-like speed, but it usually gets it right in the end. Sometimes battlefield awards are made at the lowest levels, so they can be awarded quickly and have the greatest effect. After reviewing an award can be reviewed and upgraded to a more distinguished award, it takes several years, as in this case today. Two of the awards that we are giving today were in the footlocker of a major general who died suddenly. It was with his wife for 15 years and was just recently discovered. First Sergeant Allison, Sergeant Young, will you both please stand? First Sergeant Frank Allison, you were awarded the Silver Star for your actions at Belleau Wood in January of 1918. Your citation cited you as exposing yourself to the enemy fire while destroying several German machine guns and numerous infantry. As a result, you saved your platoon, who would surely have been lost if not for your gallant actions. The Distinguished Service Cross is now awarded as an upgrade to the Silver Star. The nation and the hundreds of men you saved are eternally grateful.
The Distinguished Service Cross is awarded. The applause girl waves her banner, and the cast applauds.
Sergeant John Young, you were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for your actions at Belleau Wood in December of 1917. Your citation reads that in spite of 4 serious wounds, you led your men to safety and destroyed several enemy positions along the way. You also saved your friend, First Sergeant Allison. You was then a corporal and would later go on to his own heroic deeds a month later. You two may not have known about each other's deeds, but rest assured, the Army knows and appreciates, honors your bravery.
The Congressional Medal of Honor is awarded. The applause girl waves her banner, cast the audience applause.
Sergeant Allison, I joined your unit 2 weeks after you were wounded. Your soldiers, to a man, count their survival to your courage, and a month earlier to the courage of Sergeant Young. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 of your very own heroes, Sergeant Young and First Sergeant Allison.
Applause girl waves her banner. Audience Ladies and gentlemen, less than a month after the date of this reenactment, an attack on Pearl Harbor in Hawaii on December 7, 1941, ignited the fuse that became World War II. Our story tonight was fiction, intended to entertain. The deeds of people like Sergeant Young and First Sergeant Allison are not fiction. They are real and have repeated themselves throughout the years. We are grateful. This is our story for tonight. Join us next month for another broadcast of the Woodland Terrace radio show. Before we go, I think we need to sing one more song from long, long ago. Let's do Pack Up Your Troubles. The words are on the back of your playlist. Applause, girl. Start us out.
Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. While you Lucifer to light your way, smile, boys, that's the style. What's the use of worrying? It never was worthwhile. So pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. Ladies and gentlemen, the thespians of Woodland Terrace Radio Theater.
Yes, what is a kit bag?
It's a cloth bag that's carried over the shoulder, and it's where you keep everything, your shaving kit and all that other stuff.
Your best kit,
Yeah,
your blanket,
yeah, it
your
was,
poncho.
and all the, so every army had them. And they were called kit bags, because it's part of their kit, their,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Understood.